spectacular occur in a remote valley in central Norway. A dedicated group of scientists and researchers from universities around the world have studied the lights in Hessdalen for more than 2 decades.
I saw it first time in 82, 25th of September 82, I remember the date. And if you imagine you're in nature and suddenly a huge light is showing up, that impressed me very much.
Fascinated by this personal encounter with the mystery lights, Erling Strand contacts his university's research department.
Why are you not doing anything?
When he discovers that no one is researching the bizarre phenomena, he decides to do it himself.
What is this huge light? What is the physics behind it? There must be some kind of power. Where does this power come from? Maybe it's a clean power. Can we use it?
Strand steps up his research efforts when not one of his university colleagues can explain the phenomena.
2002 we started the science camps where we bring young students up here with a lot of instruments, staying here for 1 week, trying to capture the phenomena on film, instrumentation, etc.
Here, the Hessdalen lights make a sudden and dramatic appearance.
Well, after we have done some measurements, we have done some results, we have got some data. And in fact, the more data we get which answers some questions, more questions raise.
Like this pulsating ball of light recorded in 1999. The most stunning event in this video is seen when magnified. A smaller light appears and is sucked up by the larger light. But scientists can only describe what they see. They can't explain it. The students and researchers head out to observation posts scattered around the Hessdalen Valley, hoping to measure the light phenomena.
We have measured 3 meters, we have measured 5 meters, and they can illuminate the ground hovering around for hours.
Then they spot something unexpected directly below where the lights appeared.
We have also some tracks on the ground, in the snow. No melting of the snow. So it doesn't seem to be any heat into it. And we have made some samples of the snow measuring bacteria. In the snow around it was normal bacteria. But in the track itself, the bacteria was killed.
This tells researchers the lights interact with the landscape in strange ways, but any explanation remains speculation.
The radar just picked up signals outside.
In 1986, Hessdalen light researchers filmed this video of a light in the distance that moves unlike anything known to this Earth.
So you have these moving, sharp angles in a high speed, and nothing with any mass can have that moving. So it obviously seems to have no mass. We have all the data with the radar reflecting as strong as it was from a solid object, but we don't see the object.
Strand simply can't explain it. But recently declassified government documents, they hold the answers. Norwegian researchers aren't alone in observing the mystery lights. Nick Redfern is an author and paranormal investigator who's investigated mystery lights for years. Nick speaks with many eyewitnesses who believe some form of non-human intelligence is behind the lights.
We have a body of witnesses who've spoken about their experiences, that have spoken about feeling some kind of intelligence emanating from these balls of light, and the fact that they seem to follow intelligent movements, almost like an aircraft flying in some cases.
World War II pilots are among these eyewitnesses.
During the Second World War, there was a phenomenon that was very, very similar to the ghost lights. It became known as Foo Fighters, and these were very fast-moving balls of light that would chase American aircraft, German, British, Japanese, and every country thought it was a secret weapon of the other, which of course it wasn't. And there are some very close parallels between the ghost lights, one being that they seem to exhibit some sort of intelligence. They weren't flying around at random, they were literally chasing aircraft and almost engaging them in dogfights at times.
While some pilots believed the Foo Fighters were a man-made weapon, others seeing similar objects believe them to be alien. The British Ministry of Defence commissioned a report to research these balls of light.
The Ministry of Defence investigation came to an intriguing conclusion that close proximity between these lights and human beings could actually have an effect on the human brain to where it could cause us to hallucinate. We're talking about phenomena like ball lightning, unidentified aerial lights, that in strict terms are UFOs, but they're not nuts and bolts spacecraft, and that was a thrust of the Ministry of Defence's report, that there's a real phenomenon that can adversely affect people's perceptions.
In London, the British Ministry of Defence has been researching the mystery lights for decades. Recently declassified documents confirm it. One of the reports states that they occur on a daily worldwide basis, and they exhibit aerodynamic characteristics well beyond those of any known aircraft or missile. They're referred to as unidentified aerial phenomena, otherwise known as UFOs. One of the most amazing encounters with an unidentified flying object takes place in 1957. It happens at England's Manston Air Force Base and involves U.S. fighter pilots. The documents reveal the name of one of the fighter pilots, Milton Torres. Today, the retired pilot lives in Florida. He may be one of the only pilots to have engaged a UFO in direct combat. He's kept his story secret for decades, but now that his mission is declassified, he can tell the world what he witnessed.
It was May 20th, 1957. The weather was solid from the ground up. I never saw anything. There was no stars to be seen because of so much weather.
Lieutenant Torres and his wingman climbed to 30 tiers on his radar.
This target was going back and forth. It was stopping, it was starting, it was just doing its thing.